A recent study found headache disorders were the third highest cause of years lost due to disability. The prevalence among adults with headache disorders is about 50%, and with so many suffering, we invited Dr. Alex Vidan to talk about headaches and migraine relief without using drugs. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
So what does the Mayo Clinic and Harvard medical doctors suggest for headache and migraine sufferers?
Sure. So Mayo, they suggest knowing what your triggers are. So if you can understand what those triggers are. So what they found is that there's a list of them, but some of the main culprits are these. Everything from processed food, cheese, things like that, alcohol, soda, things of that nature. I know, right? I know.
Yeah, it's not fair, is it?
No, it's not fair. You know, our daily stress from like work, home, all that kind of stuff, life, all those things. And medications. They found that medications was the biggest one. In fact, a neurologist, he's a Harvard-trained neurologist, his name is Dr. Pratina, and what he found was, he said, for some reason, medications end up being the biggest trigger for these migraines and headaches.
And that's not fair either. I mean, that's supposed to be helping you.
Right. It's supposed to be the thing that's helping. But what he found is that it's because of the fact that there's an amount of tolerance that goes on. And so whenever we're looking at tolerance, we're looking at this here, like we have a certain amount of tolerance of stress that we can handle in our life. At a certain point, it spills over when we have too much stress, so it'll cause things like a headache. So what we're going to look at is when we're adding those kind of things, right? So when we're adding stressors, when we're adding things like the dairy and the processed food, we're adding things like the soda to it, right?
Okay.
It starts to spill over, right?
I'm glad you came prepared.
I'm prepared. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready, right? And so we could add each one of these things to it, and it'll keep on spilling over and spilling over and spilling over, right? So what we do as a chiropractor is that because we're looking at the nervous system, because we're seeing how that nervous system functions, what we want to do is we want to decrease some of that. So we're going to empty some of that. So with each adjustment, what we'll see is it affects the nervous system. People don't think about chiropractic and affecting the nervous system. They think back pain, neck pain. But really what it does is it allows with each adjustment to do that. And then what we do is if we start removing more and more of those stressors and start decreasing more and more of that, what it ends up doing is it lowers the rest of our tolerance and we see a gap.
Oh, I'm relieved.
Yes.
Now that it's not spilling over.
So
visiting you, that you would say that's an alternative to taking medication.
Right. And I feel like that, look, whenever we find structural problems that are going on in the spine and nervous system that are affecting that nervous system, causing things like headaches, that's where we want to really shine, because Harvard, they even look at it and they go, look, for these headache patients, what we find is when we incorporate chiropractic care into it, they have fewer days of pain. They have fewer days where they're having headaches. They have fewer days where they're missing out on life. And that's really what we want to do. We want to get people back to doing the things they need to do, want to do, and love to do.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, and
thanks for having me.
For all these props. So Vidan Family Chiropractic is located at 2230 South Brentwood Boulevard. You can find more information by calling 314-678-9355, and the website is Dr.